And we're live right here with Don Julio, who unfortunately is not. All right, little gallows humor. 1 year and 1 week. Got Freddie Fender here. Fender of the dog way of life. His sister jumped out of the car today. Had around her feet. So I was debating about even going out today. And man, I gotta stop taking Mondays off. Oh, I will be. I hopefully, if I can source equipment, I'll be operating as a taco truck within 6 to 7 days. And from my previous food selling experiences and knowledge of locations that I've worked before like that, judging solely on a traffic by the numbers. And I think I could do a good $3,500 at this one location with a big freezer, a moderately sized grill. I got like 22 different sized grills to put in this food truck. I've been dreaming about doing food trucks so long. I just kept not pulling the trigger and making excuses. So yeah, taco trucker first, then I'll start selling the Cuban sandwiches with a picture of my pops on the side of the truck. These flies go on like fucking days here. I don't want to bore you with details. $3,500 today. Today, just selling ice cream. Yeah, I'll be a taco truck within a week. Easy. I mean, oh yeah, this is the picture I'm going to put on the side of it when I get the Cuban sandwiches. Just like that. No photorealism, nothing. Just like that. And I have good pictures of them. You can look at my Facebook and check them out. So yeah. And I've got, I could play Sanford and just buy and sell and trade junk. And I've got like at least $17,000 worth of junk in my outbuildings over here. I'm not gonna lease just shit stacked. Why do people do that? They leave their junk that they could sell just out in the yard, rusting and getting ruined. Just sort through that shit. Throw the garbage trash away and like sell the good shit. Rock the bow tie today. Woman came out of the woodwork. I tell you, today was a hot day. So obviously, money wise too. Okay. To be honest, I hit a pretty big festival today. So, but all that spent already. That's like saying I don't have any money right now. Obviously, I'm going to pay my bills and whatnot first, and then well, this place is actually only 87% here. I want to get to. I think I'm going to learn how to do spray foam because if it costs more than $700 to do this, and the machine's $600, I'm going to buy the machine. I'll do this place myself, even if it costs me $1,000 to do it, and only $800 to pay somebody else. because then when I build more houses or a bigger house, and definitely the mansion is going to get a spray foam in it. And so right there alone, I should learn how to spray foam myself. Well, not me, not myself. That's kind of kinky, and plus, you get stuck in it and you can suffocate. Yeah, yeah. So there's that, and I anticipate that. Yeah, good location. Let's say that you expect the best, but plan for the worst. I have no doubt that a location like this, and if I always go down there and go to this location, get a hotel room right next to it. Uh, Oh yeah, this location is like 65 miles away from here. It's the base location. It's a truck stop. I don't mind telling you because if you're watching this, you probably don't have a food truck. You don't have it. If you're watching me, yeah, you probably don't have a life and you need to move on. Because usually most of these videos are for my business partners and business associates and investment opportunity seekers. Not somebody who's just watching purely out of hate because of some imagined slight that happened 35, 40 years ago. Move on. Move on. Because I guarantee you've probably done worse to me than I've ever done to you. All I've done with most of my life is spend time in libraries learning. Studying cuneiform, Aramaic, Arabic, 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 Araba. I really choose not even to have the. I would rather live comfortably in a tiny house like this for the entire of my life than seek out large amounts of money. But now I might as well, especially when the mansion is free. I have to. If I could pay, if it cost me $40,000 to move a free mansion, and it cost me $85,000 to build a new three 2,500 square foot house, why would I waste the money on the hovel? Oh, oh, that's rich. It just called a pretty nice size house a fucking hovel. Well, actually, compared to this mansion, and I've actually run across to find these deals. All you have to do is travel and keep your eyes open. There's tens of thousands of mansions that have been abandoned, and if they don't want it there on the property anymore, hey, I'll do it. I'll take it away for 35,000. That's the biggest twist on that. Not only you get a mansion, but you get paid to remove it and stack it somewhere else. Now, here's the problem: why 95% or 98% of the United States cannot take advantage of that. They don't own 2 acres of land. They don't have $30,000 to pay a crew of people to go move something real quick. That's what Jack Sharp taught me. Always keep money. Always carry about 4 or 5 thousand with you. You might see a nice car you want to buy somewhere. You might be going out to eat. You see a car for sale somewhere. You can buy it for 2,000. Slap a coat of paint on it. Throw a battery in it. Some wheels. You might well get $15,000 out of that car. You might have to wait 3 or 4 months. Again, this is how capitalism works, and you have to just be able to look. I live. Well, it's not a shack, but it's a shack. It's actually is. It's a storage shed. But they went and gated up and called it a house because there's plumbing and electricity and internet and 2 attic spaces. Now I could call one of those attic spaces a sleeping space. Um, and then hell, I could. I got another room over there. I could call a bedroom, and I could call this. So I haven't actually gotten these because I'm still moving from my work. I slept in my business for a little bit, and I just had a mattress on the ground. Oh no! I since then I've obtained a bed up on a stand, and I don't want to sleep up in them lofts. That's just like, what if you have to get up in the middle of the night and you stand up and well, plus it's primitive and it's also fire hazard. How the fuck would you get out of there if there was a fucking fire? No bueno. Uncle Billy he burned to death in the fire. I went to a funeral. I don't remember even seeing anybody I knew really. Oh yeah, Sharon and Donna's sister. All right, it's legal here now. It's medical. Well, what the fuck is the difference? So yeah, it was quite the day. I was anticipating on just staying here and taking the freezer out. But fuck, like why do that? I could do that sometime during the day, or pay somebody to come out here during the middle of the night and then take that out. Why would I do that during working hours? Plus, I need to empty the freezer I'm taking out anyways, and that's the one I'm using. And if I just leave that stuff in there for another 6 days, hell, I might even sell a third more of the products in there. That means less work when it comes time to put in the other freezer. And right now, I'm just putting the other freezer through spaces to make sure it's going to work properly. It's been working for about 2.5 months, really good. I have no problems operationally wise out of it, but we did some stuff in there. People walked around and floor of it, and we'll make sure it's absolutely beyond reproach before I take an investment. I'd pay these people $150 to do one thing, to get that freezer out of there intact without damaging anything else up in there. Because in reality, if I had to buy that one freezer I got in there, it's brand new. It was $18,000. It came out of Earth Fair. I don't know which exactly location. There's this place I bought this from is still auctioning. So Earth Fair had expanded from one. I'm paraphrasing. Started off with one in Westgate in Asheville, North Carolina. When they took over Goodies, well, they didn't take it over. They took the lease over. That was mistake number one. Now, obviously, since eventually they franchise, well, they didn't franchise. They expanded their operation from one to seven, and then tried for 42. Well, 35. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not exactly. It's true exactly. It's more or less is how it happened, or how it was recounted to me by the guy who his operations went and bought those things for pennies on the dollar. This $18,000 piece of machinery was delivered on a Friday, and they were supposed to do their grand opening on Sunday, as in have the freezers in place, employees on the floor with uniforms, all the shelves stocked. Now they might have had the shelf with the dry storage in there for months because hell, that shit lasts for years or decades. Object is to make it disappear from manufacture date to sell date within months. But yeah, once it's on the floor, it can last for decades. A lot of that stuff. It was supposed to go. It was installed on Saturday. The employees were not notified. They showed up to work, and all the shit was the doors were locked. And Monday morning, the auction company was picking all that stuff up, and I bought a $18,000 freezer for $2,800. My cost. So I don't want anything to happen to that, because if I had to replace that level of fucking awesomeness, that freezer is so beyond reproach that I'm going to actually take the other one out of there and use that space for taco truck. That's how impeccably smooth and superbly it operates. And I'm really glad with my purchase. And maybe I might able to get the mini donuts in there too. So my object is tacos. That half of the freezer is going to be novelty ice creams, because why not? Tacos and ice cream. You get dessert. If you're 400-pound behemoth and you need 700, 8, what, 4,000 calories a meal. Yeah, I'm your guy. This episode was sponsored by Mota. I paid exactly nothing for that. So yeah, I anticipate having my California taco truck or replacement. I've already made it for the insurance claim, and they said they're going to pay out one way or the other. It's either from the vandalism or the abandonment, when the trucking company that hired to bring it over here abandoned it at a hotel, and then before I could get the tow truck money, there were people staying in it and taking pieces of it off of it to sell. Well, that shit was in the desert for fucking 8 fucking years before I bought it, and then all of a sudden, after at a Hilton. See, if you go through my video, you'll see that I told you that Hilton is fucking going downhill. Why wouldn't they have like a security guard walking around to protect people's things? Because that shit was only actually supposed to be there for like 3 weeks. Well, fuck it. I had a lot of things happen here. A lot. I had to buy a $7,000 generator. Mind you, and I still have certain lifestyle that I need to maintain. When I put this, I used to have these little. Well, I still have them. They're for sale. They're little cubes. They're Honda generators. They're like 2,500 watts and 3,500 watts peak, which is like for maybe like 5-10 seconds. And then these things are smart enough to shut themselves down. Doesn't cut the engine off. It just disconnects the generator from the engine, so that the generator can cool down, and it doesn't satisfy the amperage requirements that are being demanded from it, and cools off. And when it's ready, it comes back online. But if you're having this happen, these technical difficulties, you really should be able to afford a bigger generator. So I instead of coupling these up and buying the extra coupling, and it turns out even now I'm going to still need a different setup. I'm wanting to put this generator somewhere else eventually, like underneath the chassis, or no, maybe that would be fine where it's at. But either way, I'm going to need a newer bumper. So the bumper I got on right now is it's a stock bumper. It's 18 inches wide with a piece of metal wrapping it around the back of it, maybe 1/8 of an inch wide. No, Yeah, an eighth of an inch wide, and then another one that they both go down. How does this work? Oh yeah, they're both 8 inch wide, and then the bumper stubs come out. They're 3 inch pieces of steel, and then that rests on that, and then there's some stretched metal, some webbing on the top. So to put a 50-pound generator on that, no problem. You get a couple U bolts, you got like 16th inch U bolts, maybe 4 inches long to get down to all that webbing and down to and over the generator where it was being bolted down, maybe an inch and a half. So yeah, I could hold that thing down with four U bolts. It cost me $8. Oh no, not me. I have to have huge, giant. Um, what is this? 3.5 times 42 inches, 40 inches, 3 inches for 3.2 times 3.2 times 7 foot and a half. 84 cubic feet. Super mega mammoth freezers of the industrial variety. No, they're not no thermo fishers or nothing like that. They're not going to get you down to like, well, absolute zero is 700 degrees Kelvin, and you can buy one over here made over in Weaverville, North Carolina, called Thermal Fisher, and those are $38,000 for their base model, and like, and they employ 200 or 300 people, 3 shifts making these things. Like, there's not much to a freezer. It's a pump, a condenser, and the other one. It's 2 loops of copper, and one outside, one inside, and another a pump that pumps this thermally active gas to it. You can use water. It's just not as thermally efficient. You're never going to pump out 80,000 BTUs in 5 hours with water. It's so thermally inefficient. It would never function properly. So yeah, those things, same gas, just some more robust technology. So instead of using a 1.5 cubic foot per second pump, they would use a 45 cubic foot per second pump. And I'm paraphrasing and probably getting all those measurements wrong, but the scheme of the process is there. No, I could build these things. I built freezers which is for my taco truck, stage two. First one is just use the really nice one to have from a grocery store to store my. Now I'm going to have a barrier to down the bottom of it to even though the meat is in containers and frozen and never goes back in there, it gets removed, opened, thawed out, and then put in another refrigerator. And as that thaws out, I cook it for tacos. So I might take 5 pounds out. Let's say about 300 pounds of beef. Well, that shit's good for 4 or 5 years frozen. No. Reality of that fact is people used to think you could do that. I had a lot of my relatives that were farmers. They actually would only kill two or three cows a year because even if you froze it, it just fucking wastes. Might as well just let the animal live and sell it to somebody else. Because really, quality beef only lasts like 7 8 months in the freezer. All right, but anyways, I think I could sell 700 800 pounds, 300 or 400 pounds worth of a product. Um, a good taco is about a quarter of an ounce. No, 4 ounces. 4 ounces, quarter pound, quarter pound, like a quarter pound burger. Well, tacos actually go even farther than that. It's probably equivalent to a McDonald's 10 in one patty. Half of that is what you get in a taco. You're really eating a lot of onions and cilantro and other fillers. Feta cheese, shredded lettuce. For your nicer tacos, be it whether you call it a Taco Bell. I think they call it a deluxe royale or something like that. No, and then all the shit that they never have in Mexico. You go to fucking Mexico and ask for sour cream, cheese, and lettuce in your taco. Yeah, you might be escorted from the taco stand by the federales. I mean, okay, not that bad, but still. So yeah, that's like 1,200 tacos. That's like, well, hopefully for me, 2 weeks. Yeah, I'd like to get taco truck number 2 going within 60 days. Because I had now my boy is getting a crew together. He's got. I need to buy like I want to employ 35 laborers for about 3 weeks to take that house apart, and I'm gonna pay them average about $500 to $700 a week in labor. Um. Oh yeah. Mandatory breaker every 2 hours. You get your water, cigarette, um, talk on the phone to your old lady. There's assholes and elbows again until lunch when there's free tacos and ice cream. Yep. And then after work today, you got to pay me. Yeah. You work for me, your business hours. Yeah. I'll give you a taco or something. But after work, yeah, well, then that's when I work. And tacos are 14.50. That's right. Just like Carson and Barnes used to do that to people. I was like, okay, during the daytime, actually, they give you 3 meals a day. I got to get a beer. I need a beer for this. Awesome. Oh, no, what show is that? I think tomorrow I want to make a video of an empty chair. and see how many people watched that empty chair for how long. I got a friend. Oh, James Bass, that motherfucker. People watched his empty chair for 6 hours waiting for him to come back. What's this dude doing? Mind you, he's monetized. This dude makes like 40 a lot. My hat's off to you, brother. I'm glad you can make a living off of YouTube. And you should. Passive income is the most incredible thing in this universe ever has invented. Just like somebody's watching this video right now. Well, eventually, when I get remonetized, um, if I made $85 a day off YouTube, I would be ecstatic. I would quit working. I have everything in life I already need. One thing I need more now than ever is time to play music. I got my saxophone. I bought it from what was this guy's name? Bobby Sax. He was a saxophone player for Marvin Gaye. No, I'm gonna say that was Marvin Gaye's. Wait a minute, that was Marvin Gaye's saxophone. I bought one of Marvin Gaye's saxophone player's saxophones. If Bobby played, it's got to be a good. Now, it's not what Bobby plays, bad stuff. That motherfucker got. He bought a he. His RV caught on fire, and the city Asheville Art Society buy him a brand new $38,000 Selma. Multiple. I buy his garbage. The shit that didn't go up. Oh, the shit that didn't burn up in the fire. Just wow. He's a nice guy. I like him. I really. He offered to give me lessons one time. Really, what more than I need is just give up the disillusionment. They didn't even know how to play. Just assume that all I have is thoughts in my head and the sounds that I've heard, the melodies. I knew music. I know music theory in my head. I just don't know how to assign all the letters to it. No, kind of like what I know makes sense in certain places. This is a collage of memories. Music theory just helps you get a little bit more laser perfect. You know what chord progressions for what type of music, not just how it feels. When you play by ear, you know how things feel, and you can kind of know like what if you use your voice like baby, baby, it feels like it's gonna last. Yeah, I think Brian Setzer Orchestra did that too. And you big so I know what type of honking goes for like certain type of musics. I just didn't couldn't tell you. Now I can sight read. I don't remember what notes go where. That's all. That's it. Easy. Anybody can play somebody else's music off of sight reading once you learn to play the horn. But you don't learn the horn is secondary to the real music knowledge, which is theory. Otherwise, you're just honking. You're just honking and making no fucking sense. And even the most arbitrary music has some sense of order to it. Some Island Boys. I refuse to say they're Cuban. So I get a bunch of rich white kids, tattoos all over their face, acting like there's some type of social influence. I goddamn, I hope not. What did they like nice things? They gold and just, but I bet they live in that little island. Um, it's probably in the canal behind their parents' house, and they probably own the canal too. They weren't really island boys. They weren't out there for months or years or days killing rabbits or something. I bet you if those island boys was in Cuba, they'd never be able to get in a raft and drop a car motor to it. They just wouldn't fucking make it. I don't even think they could swim. Speaking of that, I gotta get to a lazy river soon. I haven't done a lazy river in so fucking long. I got the perfect one from Cheyenne, Wyoming to Denver, Colorado on the Platte River, and you go gold mining the whole fucking time. It's 10:30 already. I'm usually in bed by 4:35. I like this shirt. It's very Miami. It's very festive, very decorative. I got this one at Belks for $350. It feels so nice, man. It just this silk and linen blend. Oh, the best blend. Silk, linen, cotton. I got a suit there. And that is not like this. This nice $500 one, or this nice $200 one versus the pile of $100 ones I threw away. Yeah, they're $50 to $100 each. They were like polyester. Yeah, just all itchy and just like the sheen isn't right. It's too hot. I don't like polyester. Oh, it's on my shoes. For these shoes, I got the shoe shine kit. That's man going to New York City for a few days. Shine the fuck out of some shoes. Executive level polishes. $175. No, don't worry about it, sir. Just leave your shoes right here and come back to work. You pick them up, and I'll spend 45 minutes on that man's pair of shoes. And then by the time he get back, and he'll be like, "Oh, damn, I paid $35 at the airport the other day, and it was fucking a dull sheen." Yeah, those airport shoe polishes are fucking rip off. They spend like 2 minutes on your shit, and it's got like almost like a good sheen, but then it falls right off after like a couple hours or a day or so, versus like a nice executive level or presidential level, or last for months to years. Because most of those cats don't even like, they're not working, or they're not physically exerting themselves. They're using higher functions that allow them to acquire massive amounts of nicer things. and good for them. That way, when I tell that man I got a presidential shoe shine and my shoes are at a presidential shoe shine level, and I've got a $3,000 suit on just like him, I'm well coiffeured and I'm mise en place. I've got my shoe shine kit and I've got my wit. I bet I could probably do. I bet I probably could work one of the ferries and do $700 a day. That's 4 pair of shoes. There are billionaires in that area. Where there's one billionaire, there's probably 400 people, 400,000 people worth $100 million. It's like New York. Where it, do you know those people that make videos about going to New York and just in the Diamond District, just vacuuming up the cracks between the sidewalks, and in like 3 months, find $40,000 worth of diamonds because they're tiny. They're the ones that go on your watch right here. Well, if there's 6 million people going through a certain quarter every day, 285 working days a year, people are going to lose shit, man. Especially when the poorest of the multimillionaires is like fucking $20 million in New York City. There's probably several million people at that level in New York City. Maybe I do need to make a balloon making expedition. Maybe I do. It's $100 to go to Miami. I can go down there for 2 weeks, stay in a hotel, rent a car, problem solved. Or I could just rent a car here and go there for a couple weeks. Or take my taco truck down there. And it's called catering when you go to. So when you go to the industrial area, they call it catering to people's needs. And then you go into these areas with your food truck, right around lunch break, which for Cubans is really, really different than Americans. It's time to eat almost any time of the day. It really is. 3 or 4 croquetas, pastelita, a couple coffees. You want to make a Cuban friends with a Cuban? Buy him a Cuban coffee. Friends for life, buddy. I remember everybody I ever met and had good dealings with. A lot. Sometimes I won't see anybody for like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and like, brother, man, how you been? And we pick up right where we left off at. Just a pause. So no, I think going to Miami would be a little bit overkill. Oh, yeah, for the food truck, But if I was going to just make strictly balloon money, hell, I could probably make eight or 100. I made $900 a day in 2000. This is 22 years later. I was selling $2. My what I call now a mediocre creation. I get $8 for it, each one of them. Well, back then I was making those for $2. Well, no, not like a big dog, but like a dog in a leash. Okay, so it wasn't the level of complication. The thing is, I did that in 14 seconds. 14 seconds. I made. I now make $9 for that 14 seconds. Thing is, sometimes you hang out. You gotta hang. You never know when the people are going to be there. Now, once you learn I guess once you learn the patterns, you can go do something else for those few hours, shoot pool or eat out, restaurant. You don't have to necessarily go back all the way home to enjoy yourself in life. That's just a place to lay down and accumulate things. Sometimes, which is like for me, I use later down the road to make other money. I bought that ice cream truck 5 years ago, knowing that today would happen. I drove a truck over the road for 7 years. I got everything I wanted to get out of it was to see the world again, or at least my own corner of it. I'm not like most Americans who are so arrogant to think they've been to 48 states 3 or 4 times, that you've seen the world. Not even begin to crack the door open. Not even begin to crack the door open. But yeah, there are large amounts of Americans. I mean, if 20% of the uh, planet's population is in the air at any one time, I find that hard to beat. There's that much international commerce that 20% of the world's population is in an airplane at one time. Maybe we need bigger airplanes. It'd be a lot more efficient. Instead of 20 flights out of Madrid every day to Rome, why not just one? Hyperloop. Now that's a place for Hyperloop. And then here's the benefit of a Hyperloop type system. You can leave it whenever you want. Now my version of the Hyperloop I invented way, way, way back in the 90s was to take existing subway tunnels and just shoot a little car down it. But the thing is how to get it off and get people onto a sidetrack for people to get off and spend several minutes getting in and out of it so they can collect their belongings, their things, and their people or their dog or their parrot or their support horse, whatever. And then, but still keep the traffic going straight and the people that don't need to stop. That's the most important part. The people that don't need to stop can go on with their own express thoroughfare and not have to worry about, adding. I lived in New York many times. I took the trains all the time. Personally, I found a bicycle on the service streets to be a lot more efficient. And there's a lot of reasons why you would not want to go down in those tunnels a lot. Probably a lot of it has to do with how well ventilated those cars. I mean, they're made by Kawasaki and Suzuki and Yamaha, but like, what's the level of ventilation filtrage? I mean, do we as a public really ever get to know? I remember one time I went to New York City and and then I called my dad collect. Wow, what a heel. Well, I didn't have any quarters. And plus, when I got home, he showed me all the postage cards I sent him from all my travels. Like just kind of like the Uncle Traveling Matt and that TV show from HBO. Do 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 do. Dancing up the way, worried for another day. Come on, Jaja. Down to Jaja Rock. Down to Jaja Rock. Oh yeah, I made like back in when I first started going to New York in 1992. I would make $500 or $600 a day, not even trying. Just walking around with a paper full of balloons and wearing one for a hat, and kind of making two or three, holding on a few of them, and yeah, that was before I ever learned about carrying a piece of luggage and then just making the luggage the holder for my balloons. and the clothes for the for the journey. I had like three, four pair of pants and three or four shirts, 3 or 4 pair of shoes, just enough to get you through any social situation you be into. Because like I was rolling, I was making $500 to $800 a day in the '90s, making $1 balloons. I made like $800 or $900, eight or 900 $1 balloons. Oh, it was awesome. I didn't even know what I was doing. I knew how to make a dog. That's why I say it's ridiculous when poor people say, I'm stuck at my job. No, you're not. Start a business. It's really funny. It's like places like McDonald's that want you as a worker to do that shit for their $7 an hour bullshit that won't keep somebody alive on the run without a roommate. Um, they'll pay somebody $45 to do on the outside, and it takes like 20 minutes. Dude, if you could just get like a string of businesses and you had a car and a way to get your cleaning equipment, probably like a van, you floaty van, you wouldn't even have to take the water out of the van. Well, I guess you had tank holding tanks and dump it. But like in Florida, you do cleaning service like that, you have to take your gray water back to your home base. You can't just spray it down the sewer because that shit goes straight to the oceans. And man, I remember I worked for this one guy. His name was Manolo. He had a moon bounce company and a spray wash company, and my cousin worked for him. And my cousin made enough to buy brand new cars doing that shit as an employee. So imagine what the owner is making. It's like $185 an hour to pressure wash. Now this is when they come in with a big truck and it's got the hot water pressure washer. It's not your excuse me. It's not your home edition where you plug it into your garden hose and your pressure washing about that wide with 3,500 pounds of pressure and a little Honda 5 horsepower. These people come in with it's got the truck has a King Plus cab on it, so basically you can hold 6 employees in it. And when they charge that's a $500 per hour pressure washing gig. Well, you're paying each one of those employees whether they're driving to a job or at a job, because this is how many jobs you can sell doing these industrial applications. Um, $700 an hour and get it, and be busy with these industrial, you know, all manners of applications. Or just one with enough pressure and wattage and a regular crew. Yeah, people like that still make $300 or $400 an hour for him and his 2 employees. Guess what? He's only giving them 20. Past that, so might have to give up what $200 a day in fucking labor and shit per person. He might make him $4,000 or $5,000 that day. And shoot, yeah, the other guys are happy. That's enough money for them to buy a car, pay his rent in his apartment. Good for him. It's a fucking job. It's fucking dignity. It's the ability to come home and have no worries about where your next meal is coming from. So you can any time of the year do this, and it'll all be $100 bills. At any time. Just like I put 30% on that $185,000 piece of property from selling ice cream. I should be able to pay off that land in 95 days. Well, then I have a depot for my trucking company. Mm-hmm. And James, that's specifically aimed at you. And I just have a pole barn, a 4,500 square foot pole barn, an 85,000 square foot transfer station. Not just for me. Oh, Walmart refused you? Okay, cool. Mr. Trucking Company owner, have your driver come over here and we'll cross dock it for $450 plus $150 a day storage fee. They might have $65,000 worth of merchandise on there. Shit, sharp double ply truckload is $48,000. When you sell that tractor trailer load full of toilet paper at retail normal prices is $195,000. Tell me grocery store employees don't deserve better paychecks. Tell me they don't. They sold out of paper. They sold out of paper products so quickly. Ass wipe and for your table. As soon as the tractor trailer load would get on it, they would be selling that shit on the fucking sidewalk. They had one of the sales associates out. They were just selling toilet paper as it came off the truck. Tell me they weren't making money. And then you wanted to get rid of the entry level position of fucking your best customer service, the cashier, you're a fucking idiot. Anybody does that shit, you're a fucking idiot. You're giving somebody a job in the community so fucking stupid they probably otherwise might not be able to have a fucking job. Plus, dealing with money helps make them financially savvy. Oh no, this hovel is better than the last hovel. And with security, the whole situation for this property, versus I bought this house in California. It's Squidward's house from SpongeBob SquarePants, but built in real life, and right next to it is SpongeBob's house. And when I saw the for sale sign, I said, Lord mercy. SpongeBob and Squidward both got evicted. Now, what about that motherfucking starfish? I guess it's hard to kick somebody out for underneath the rock, right? They'll just find another rock. Benavides. This one jumped out of the fucking vehicle today while it was rolling. Just amazing, man. Like a full 3.5, 4 foot. That's like 9.5 chihuahuas tall. Well, 9.5 people. That's like fucking stepping off the 20th, 40th story of a building. That'd kill me or you. Yeah, 150 miles per hour. She was going after both fucking big dogs. Well, she saw it happen. When poor little Emmett Kelly got put in the ground. That was one of the saddest days of my life, I tell you. There's a difference between being at a burial and watch something that somebody else put in a box inside of another box go down in the ground in another box, and then walking away after a few pre-filled handfuls of dirt were placed in your hand, like that. That's a lot different than picking the dead thing up and, I'm sorry, actually digging the hole and seeing the dead corpse there. The thing that reminds you of something that you loved, with flies buzzing around it, the stiff, you know, you might have even just got through trying to revive it, despite being told it was dead for 2 hours. Well, rigor hadn't set in. I never gave up hope. There's a difference between burying a human and burying a dog is two different things. I think that when you dig the hole, put the lifeless thing in the ground and cover it up with your own labor all the way, and they're both hard, they really are. But when you actually have to dig the hole yourself, it's like even more. There's more connection. A lot. So yeah, I remember the old shed that used to be where this is at. It's probably about 6 foot wider. Yeah, probably 5 foot taller. This is massively bigger. I was going to do all this work myself one day, but I needed to get jacks and spreaders and load bars, and yep, it's just easier to build something new than it is to fix something old. It really is. It's a lot less work because the old stuff you have to, yeah, you'd have to build a house if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, if you're on a construction site, you're there for 6 hours, you have no earthly idea what building a house is really like. But hey, let's get off here and hey, look at that, my saxophone. Oh, I got another idea. Here's why um I don't play music more often. I like listening to music a lot, but I think that I I hear music now a lot, like in my head when I'm not even listening to music. I just get inspired to like, well, music is a doctor, man. Tells you a lot about your life. Reminds you where you've been. Can kind of help you think about where you want to go to too. All the stories and anecdotes and whimsical. See, look, I'm wasting time again. But I'm not going to let you see me. You've probably seen people fail on the saxophone before. And I got to get my bedroom ready over here. I'm gonna put the drums somewhere else. I might put them. There's room over here in this room for them right here. This room's not soundproof like that. I'm not disrespectful with that, anyways, man. Just because you get inspired at 2 o'clock in the morning, that doesn't mean your neighbors need to be fucking woke up. I mean, great thing about here, my nearest neighbor is like 300 feet away, so I don't think that they would really hear it. Yeah, but on that front, yeah, I've been making leaps and bounds. I can sit down for a few minutes at a time and tolerate my own drumming, and who knows? Oh yeah, I'm gonna make some videos since I remember how to do that. Just random pictures, kind of cool. It's a new video. It's a new video technique. I don't have any music to put there yet. I forgot how to take music off of YouTube. Late.